Hello, and welcome back to Building with Bits. I'm Prosecco, and today we're going to be turning this beautiful little peninsula into a stylish riverside modern house. To start, we clear ourselves out a fairly large area, getting rid of all of that pesky grass so we can get straight onto the building. Try to make sure the build had a good combination of colours and textures throughout, highlighting the stone brick entranceway, a design which I think really complements this style of build. While I don't spend too long on the overall frame of the house itself, opting to put most of my efforts into Chisel and Bits work down the line, it still took a good couple of hours to build and design the basic structure, and for the most part, you can even build this in vanilla. If you don't count the sideways glass, white concrete slabs, half slabs, although as an example, the slabs I use around the edges could simply be swapped out for quartz slabs to achieve a similar effect. Though, just imagine if we had like the concrete slabs and all the colours and the stairs and stuff, that would be amazing. Still, at least there's a somewhat replacement for horizontal glass by using full blocks instead, although you do lose that extra layer of depth which helps to define your windows within the rest of your build, so definitely something to think about early on. Next step, the groundwork. Deciding on a birchwood floor for the inside, continuing on the outside with grey concrete powder and a dabble wall here and there, we create an asphalt style path that connects the house directly to the riverside. There, a path and some railings are added alongside the bank just to help bring the whole image together. Then, turning our attention to some finer details, we start chiseling into the entranceway. Making use of the darker lines in the stone bricks to act as a guide, we strip away bits, literally giving the block a 3D texture. Then, using the same method of following the lines, we carve into all of the spruce wood walls until we end up with a panel texture. This really didn't take long to do, but it definitely made the surfaces pop and seem much more realistic. Unfortunately, the same couldn't be said for the windows at this point, so we add some rather quaint windowsills along with a small black concrete border, though we do come back and replace that with a slightly lighter grey concrete border as the colour fits better with the overall design. The roof garden turned out to be one of the more intricate areas of the build. To start, I surround the available space with a custom built fence, and I wanted to make sure you could still see through fairly well from the outside, so taking that into account, I went with a design that more so resembled steel bars rather than a panelled wood design, which was originally what I was going for. I'm glad I changed my mind here, as we already have the spruce wood border around the outside anyway, and I think adding too much wood would have made it all blend together a bit too much, lacking the variety granted by changing up the colour palette. After expanding out the grass and then adding a few stones just to border the edge, I start building up the main central feature for the garden. An iron golem statue, afforded even more detail than the vanilla version, transforms what was a plain patch of grass into something worth featuring in an obscenely unnecessarily overly detailed house in Minecraft. This golem was so happy to feature in this build, he literally couldn't stop crying with joy, so I gave him a small pond to contain his unending tears along with a bunch of rocks to keep him company. Then, finishing off the whole area with some small bushy trees on the corners and a few paving slabs dotted about to create a path around the centre. So, with the main beauty spot finally finished, I wanted to crack on with some more complicated details. Moving back to the windows, I add in a flower box, creating various little coloured plants. Once finished, I then copied the template to fill in the other window, making sure to change up the colours and positions of the flowers as to avoid any repetitive patterns. We then do the same thing round the back. I also add in these perimeter lights illuminating the area, mainly to help break up some of the more plain sections of wall. Another way to do this is by lining the walls with leaves. Taking this a step further, of course, we round the leaves into a shape more appropriate for a hedge. This ends up fitting really well, which is the opposite of what I said when I first tried to build the stairs. Finally compromising on a simple glass spiral staircase, we move on to the living room. Here I start with the necessary stuff like the crafting table, building a bunch of extra shelves and even some tools hung up for display. But trying to build on those shelves seemed like it was going to be way too awkward, so instead I come outside to finish off the rest of the little ornaments and then simply copy and paste them around the house. And then with a bunch more off-camera work for the internals, which we'll see in the tour, stick around for that coming in a moment, our beautiful Riverside modern house is complete. So let's take a look around, shall we? I just had so many ideas I wanted to share, I put in as many as I could and hopefully it looks good. Starting on the ground floor, and since this is the main crafting room, I wanted to make it feel used. Not messy really, just busy, you know, with lots of stuff going on. Having random books and stuff on the sides, the little dragon egg collection, and even the hammer still upon its anvil. We built some more shelves around the house too, and here you can see more closely the simple spiral staircase I went with, mainly because I think it would have taken longer than the roof garden took to do anything more complicated, and I definitely didn't want to spend that long on something I'm not even filming anymore, because here is the personal cinema room. On the other side we have the main bedroom, a large open room with huge windows, good thing nobody lives close by. Then, back up the stairs, maybe I should have built better ones, well, they're gone. And finally the rooftop garden, with the majestic iron golem statue water fountain thing in the middle. This definitely took me the longest, but I reckon it also looks the best, and generally speaking, that's how it should be, you know? The more time and effort you put into the build, the better it should look. For the most part. Anyway, I hope you guys take some inspiration from this. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and a massive thank you for watching. Now, go build something.